start the video off by saying that this is for me and for all the people that slid up on my story telling me that they've been through the same thing, either with this person or with not. Doesn't even matter, because I definitely don't want to make the situation worse with this person. I can't even imagine what they're going through and how hurt they have to be to hurt so many people in so many different ways. So I definitely do not want to contribute to that. And this is just mostly for the people who ever felt like they were crazy or they were over exaggerating, because things like this do happen and it can make you feel very crazy at times. And I just want to share specifics because honestly now there's amusing and so baffling to me that I think people need to know. So I'm just going to bring awareness to it, and honestly if it helps one person know that crazy shit can happen, then I'll be fine with it. I don't care. But these are just three of like the most prominent times that I got accused of cheating. Honestly, I probably got accused of cheating almost every day, like in the midst of the relationship, like halfway through, every day he started accusing me. And these are just the times when I was just like, I should leave, but I'm not, because apparently I'm into boys who want to ruin my life. Honestly, sad but true. But anyway, so the first time was pretty early on, and I decided to go to a party. Well, I wanted to go to a party, and I wanted to ask this person to go with me since they were my significant other, but apparently their parent was crazy. And first of all, I just want to apologize if you're watching this. I'm so sorry that I relied on a non-credible source, which is your son, like that you were crazy. You're probably lovely. Like, I'm so sorry. And I don't know you, so I definitely take responsibility for judging, like, before I even knew you. But I just feel bad about that, so I just had to say that. And anyway, this person was crazy, so they were apparently out to ruin his life. They hated him. They didn't want him to go anywhere, so he wasn't allowed to go with me. So he continued to ask me if I was still going to go, even though he couldn't. And I obviously said yes, because I'm going to a party. And he asked me if I would stay home because he couldn't go, and he thought that I was choosing like a party over him. And honestly, I was just not. Honestly, play with your hair one more time. The mood, it didn't make sense. That's not how that works. I'm not going to sit at home just because you aren't allowed to go anywhere. So I went to the party, and towards the end of the party, I was hanging out with my friend who was switching schools, and I was saying goodbye because obviously I wasn't going to see him. And I always loved his hair, and I'm not going to say who it is, but everyone will probably know after I say this. He has really curly hair, and I was putting it in a bun. And these people, well, these guys who knew that me and this person were together, and they thought it would be funny to take a picture of us and send it to my ex, saying that I was cheating on him. And at that point, nobody thought that it was bad because it's a joke. People take jokes. It's fine. But they didn't really understand how he would take it. I kind of knew that it would be like an extreme reaction. So I was kind of concerned. But honestly, I didn't think about it because I thought that if he asked me and I told him, it would be okay. But I guess not. So I go home and I didn't think anything of it. So I went to sleep and I woke up the next day. And I am not kidding when I say that there were probably over 50 consecutive missed phone calls and FaceTimes from this person. And I have never been so overwhelmed in my entire life. It was not only missed phone calls and FaceTimes, but it was text messages about how horrible I am, how everything was a lie, how he was going to kill himself, and how I was going to be the reason. And I was just like, no, that's not what's happening today. So I tried and get evidence to prove it to him. I have no idea why I tried to do that, but I texted people from the party and were like, hey, did this happen? So I actually screenshotted things from people and sent it to him, and he still continued to not believe me. So at that point, I was not going to continue to beg for somebody's trust and to believe me. So I said that we should break up because I was not going to be in a relationship with someone who won't believe me. So as soon as I said that, it was like a flip, of a switch, and he actually started turning, the conversation into it being his fault, and automatically he was manipulating all of my words to make it seem like I didn't do anything wrong. and he continued to take full responsibility for it, and he tried to say that it was his fault and it was okay and he forgave me. And I honestly didn't believe him, like, because why should I? So honestly, I knew that he was lying until a few days later he continued to tell me all of these things. And finally I was like, okay, well, it seems like he forgave me, so we'll be okay. So I continued, and the next day he literally used it against me. When I tried to go to the store to get some milk with my mother,
he needs some milk.
He told me that I would probably go play with someone else's hair, just like I did at the party. One of the things that he told me was that playing with somebody's hair is special and that I should only be able to play with his hair. And that's when I was just like, am I dating, like, a child? Like, what's going on? So I wanted him to be joking so bad, but he wasn't. So at that point I was just like, we should definitely not be together, but it's fine. So apparently that wasn't enough for me, and the 75 phone calls weren't enough, so whatever. So something else that was just, like, beyond baffling.
Do you know any other words to describe the situation?
Honestly, I should have known all of this, and I take responsibility. It was my choice to not leave, and I should have known because it literally started at my house. Like, it was so... He thought that there was problems within my house. Like, he was jealous of my family members that I lived with, and so that was a problem, but apparently not. I guess I'm only into boys who want to ruin my life.
We know, you literally already said that.
So I managed to look past that. But anyway, so the second time that I got accused of cheating, the most prominent time, was when I was at my house and my cousin was over, and he's honestly one of my best friends, and I'm not just saying that, but since we go to the same school and my aunt works earlier some days, he came over and he slept over so that we could give him a ride to school the next day. And I was Snapchatting him, and he saw, like, his shoulder in the picture, and he automatically freaked out, and he made up this whole storyline of how I went to someone else's house, that's why I didn't answer him, I was with somebody else, I didn't love him anymore, and that's how it always was. So I was just like, I am not here for it, I don't know what you want me to do. So I finally was just, like, getting joy in the fact that I could tell him that it was my cousin so that he could be like, oh, I'm sorry, I overreacted. But no, he continued to tell me that I was sleeping with my cousin and that I was in love with my cousin. So not only did he literally call me 75,000 times and not tell me, like, not even ask me if I ever did anything, like, cheated or anything like that, just accused me of things, but now he's accusing me of incest, so that's great.
Wow, we love that for me.
Too. Apparently after that, it was not enough to make me leave, so I continued to, unfortunately be with this person, and it's not even the person, it's just the situation that's hard.
I wish that were more true.
So my best friend, I'm just going to say her name because I don't think she cares, but her name's Piper, and I didn't really think that he would care, but apparently I was wrong because he cared about everything and everyone that I talked to, but it was not bad until this specific point. I remember we hung out and somebody said something about Piper liking somebody else, and it was a girl, and since Piper's bisexual, he immediately turned to me and told me that I was in love with her and that I was cheating on him with her and that I have been continuously this whole time, and that's why I talked to her. I mean, it doesn't even make sense, seeing as, like, I talked to her because she's my best friend, but that's fine. That didn't come to mind. It was always the worst thing ever. And ever since that point, he was always, like, scared of girls. At first, he was just, like, didn't want me to be around boys. But then it got really bad, and he didn't want me to be around girls anyway. And I'm just going to say this. This isn't a time that I got accused of cheating, but, like, it's still so baffling to me that I feel the need to share it. He got so jealous to the point that when I went to leave for my grandmother's 80th birthday party, my grandmother is the most amazing person ever and literally took me to go see him every single week at a farmer's market. She did not have to do that, and he continued to tell me that I should stay home and not go to her birthday party, which, I'm sorry.
You just gonna bring me a birthday gift on my birthday to my birthday party on my birthday with a birthday gift?
And his reasoning was that he was jealous and that I would like them more. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what you want me to do. So I went, and he told me he would break up with me if I went, but I did, and he didn't. So it was pretty interesting, and I have so many more stories. I cannot wait to start like a series about this. It's just so baffling, and these things, I honestly can't even comprehend them, but they're so funny to me because at the time I look back and I cannot believe how stupid I was. So I just wanted to make these videos to show people that things like this do happen, and I'm not over exaggerating, but it's also to expose the situation, not the person. Just the person is the example. Like, there has been people who slid up on my story telling me that they've been through the same thing, not with this person, although a majority of it is, but this is just a focus on the situation. And if you want to find out how we actually broke up and how it had nothing to do with any of this, I'm going to post that next, and it's honestly great, so you should watch it.